Hi everyone, my name is Nr.ainmhd. Today I will present about Malaysia International Trade Performance 2022 to 2026. Good evening everyone, today I will present our analysis on Malaysia's international trade performance from 2022 to 2026. This study focused on the performance of export and import across different sectors, including manufacturing, mining, agriculture, and other industries. The analysis is conducted using time series data, which includes moving average, seasonal variation, and forecasting technique to identify trends and future trade performance. Overall, this presentation will explain the trend, pattern, sector contribution, and forecast for quarter 2 of 2026. From the top 10 export markets, we can clearly observe that Malaysia's exports are concentrated in a few major countries. The highest export destination is Singapore, followed by China and the United States. Singapore remains the top export partner due to its strong regional trade relationship with Malaysia, efficient logistic connectivity, and geographical advantages. Meanwhile, China and the United States remain important markets because Malaysia exports a large amount of electrical and electronic products, machinery, and manufactured goods to this country. Other countries in the top 10 list contribute smaller shares, showing that Malaysia export market is highly dependent on a few major trading partners. This also indicates the importance of maintaining strong trade relationship with these countries to ensure stable export performance. Based on the monthly export performance, Malaysia show a fluctuating but stable overall trend. There are certain months where export values increase significantly while other months show slight declines. The fluctuation is mainly influenced by global demand, seasonal trade cycle, and international economic condition. However, despite this fluctuation, the overall trend remains stable, showing that Malaysia's export sector is resilient and able to maintain consistent performance over time. For import performance, a similar fluctuating pattern can be observed. Imports are mainly driven by the needs for raw material, machinery, and intermediate goods that support Malaysia manufacturing industry. This shows that Malaysia is not only an exporting country but also heavily dependent on import to sustain its industrial production activities. Therefore, imports play a crucial role in supporting the overall trade ecosystem. From the sector analysis, it is clear that the manufacturing sector dominates Malaysia's export throughout the period. It contributes the highest trade value compared to mining, agriculture, and other sectors. This dominance is mainly due to Malaysia's strong position in electrical and electronics manufacturing as well as industrial products. The manufacturing also the manufacturing sector also benefit from global supply chain integration, making in the backbone of Malaysia economy export. For import, the manufacturing sector also plays a largest role. This is because Malaysia import large amount of raw material, component, and machinery to support domestic production. Mining and agriculture sector contribute much smaller shares compared to manufacturing. This shows that Malaysia export structure is closely linked to its industrial production needs. Overall, the major trade analysis shows that manufacturing is the most dominant sector in both export and imports. This confirms that Malaysia's economy is strongly dependent on industrial manufacturing activities. Other sectors such as mining and agriculture play supporting roles but do not contribute as significantly. This structure shows Malaysia as a manufacturing-driven trading economy.
Firstly, the manufacturing sector remains the largest contributor to Malaysia export. Based on our analysis, the seasonal index for quarter 2 is 98.492, while the trend value is 359.431 billion. Therefore, the forecast export value for manufacturing goods in quarter 2 of 2026 is estimated at RM 300 and 54.1 billion. This indicates that the manufacturing sector will continue to dominate Malaysia's export market and remain the key driver of economic growth. Secondly, the mining sector shows a declining trend over the years. The trend per quarter is negative at -0.573, indicating a gradual decrease in export performance. Using the seasonal index and trend value, the forecast export value for mining goods in quarter 2 of 2026 is estimated at RM to 20.51 billion. This decline may be influenced by fluctuations in global commodity prices and lower external demand. Next, the agricultural sector demonstrates relatively stable export performance. The forecast analysis produced a trend value of 27.103. As a result, the forecast export value for agriculture goods in quarter 2 of 2026 is approximately RM 25.61 billion. This suggests that agriculture export will continue contributing positively to Malaysia's trade sector despite market uncertainties. Lastly, the other sectors recorded a small but positive growth trend. The trend per quarter is 0.165, indicating a gradual increase in export activities. Based on the forecasting calculations, the forecast export value for the other sectors in quarter 2 of 2026 is estimated at RM 4.22 billion. Although this sector contributes the smallest share, it still plays a supporting role in Malaysia's overall export performance. For import, the manufacturing goods sector is expected to remain the largest contributor to Malaysia export. Based on the forecasting analysis, the seasonal index for quarter 2 is 99.235 and the projected trend value is 323.727. As a result, the forecast import value for manufacturing goods in quarter 2 of 2026 is estimated at RM 321.25 billion. This indicates a strong demand for imported industrial inputs, machinery, and intermediate goods required for manufacturing activities in Malaysia. Secondly, the mining goods sector is forecasted to record an import value of RM 26.17 billion in quarter 2 of 2026. Although the sector shows a negative trend per quarter, mining related import remain important in supporting industrial and energy related activities. The forecast suggests that the sector will continue contributing significantly to Malaysia's overall import performance. The agriculture goods sector is expected to achieve an important value of RM 19.60 billion in quarter 2 of 2026. The analysis shows a relatively stable trend over the year, reflecting consistent demand for agriculture products and food-related imports. These sectors continue to play an important role in ensuring sufficient supply for domestic consumption and production activities. Lastly, others sector is forecasted to record import worth RM 8.46 billion during quarter 2 of 2026, although it represents the smallest import category. The sector shows a positive trend and contributes to the diversification of Malaysia's import culture. For the trade, the manufactured goods sector continues to be the backbone of Malaysia's international trade. Based on the forecasting analysis, the estimated trade value for manufactured goods in quarter 2 of 2026 is RM 675.05 billion. This sector recorded the highest forecast among all sectors, reflecting Malaysia's strong position in exporting and importing manufactured products such as electrical and electronic goods, machinery, and industrial products. The result indicates that manufacturing activity will remain the primary driver of Malaysia's trade growth. Secondly, the mining goods sector is forecasted to achieve a trade value of RM 43.02 billion in quarter 2 of 2026. Although the sector shows a slight declining trend, mining products such as petroleum and natural gas continue to contribute significantly to Malaysia's trade activities. The forecast suggests that global demand and commodity prices will continue influencing the sector's performance. Next, the agriculture goods sector is expected to record a forecast trade value of RM 46.10 billion. Agriculture products remain important to Malaysia's economy, particularly palm oil and related products. The forecast demonstrates that this sector continues to maintain a stable contribution to the country's overall trade performance. Lastly, the other sectors is projected to achieve a trade value of RM 30 13.1 13.81 billion in quarter 2 of 2026. Although it contributes the smallest shares, the sector show a positive trend and reflect the diversity of Malaysia's international trade performance.
In conclusion, Malaysia's international trade from 2022 to 2026 shows a positive long-term growth trend with short-term fluctuations. The manufacturing sector remains the backbone of Malaysia's trade performance. Overall, the trade outlook for 2026 is expected to remain stable with moderate growth. Thank you for your attention.